Lads, lads, lads.
So that first 45 minutes was much more like the Sheffield United we know and love. A couple of changes to the starting lineup, including first Premier League start for Lowe. It was nice to see. Robinson dropped to the bench after some okay-ish performances of late, Wilder publicly saying that he doesn't expect him to play every match. Not great for his self-esteem, but also a bit more scathing the fact that he brings in Ender, who is a great player, but not been on form of late, but also played a hell of a lot of minutes for Ireland, so he's probably very tired. Brought him in play instead of Robinson. Norwood back, which was very good to see. Lunny moved to left midfield, which didn't do so well against Wolves, but much happy with that midfield in the starting lineup. Lowe set the tone for us. We've talked about starting slowly, but he was full pace straight away, chasing down the ball. But unfortunately, he was so excited that he got himself injured. Clashed with a Fulham player, I think it was Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Slow-mo looked like he'd knocked himself out, but he fell to the floor, clutching his face, had a bit of treatment and was able to carry on for a bit longer at least anyway. After 6 minutes, we had our first shot. Fulham shooting from outside the area. Didn't trouble Rammers too much. Parried for a corner, nothing came of that. A couple minutes later, we had our first shot on target. Lunny from outside the box, another outside the area shot. All in all, that half taking a lot more shots, which was nice to see. 4 shots, I think, at least on target in the first half, when previously we didn't have our first shot on target till maybe the 70th or 80th minute. So that was much better. Berger doing so much better in that right midfield position. I don't know at what point we have to decide that, look, he's better at right midfield than centre mid and just accept that. Played a hell of a lot better there. A couple of people had some attempts. Ender had a shot when clean through, but he was quite on the left wing. Nothing came of that. Bash, who had an incredible half for me, defended it amazingly, put in a couple of crosses from the wing, and also nearly had a chance to poke home a goal himself with that cross that came across from Ender, but Bash's legs just weren't long enough, just missed out there. 28 minutes, our best chance of the half fell to McBurney. A cross from Bash on the right wing. McBurney point blank header at the keeper. He's got to score that. The keeper made a good save to his side, but McBurney's got to bury that. It wasn't a half chance, that was a good chance. And then 36 minutes, the ball was in the net. But we very quickly saw that about 6 of our players were offside, which again was a trait in that half. We had quite a few offsides. The half ended after a mixed bag. We were by far the better side. We looked much more like ourselves, defended really well, creating chances. But we've got to take these chances. Some were half chances, but there were a couple of good chances that we've got to take them. And that proved to be our undoing, really, with what happened next in the second half.
Coming out of halftime, I think we had every reason to be optimistic. We played creatively, some good link-up play through the middle in the first half, and really we didn't get any of it in the second half. I think the midfielders, whether through tiredness or a bit of anxiety, as Wilder said after the match, or a bit of lack of creativity, just nothing was happening in the midfield. I thought Berger had an excellent first half and was average, but still probably our best player in the second half.
Well, it could have been a game where penalties actually decided it. Certainly if Fulham had scored with their penalty, which was a blatant penalty. What on earth was Jack Robinson thinking with his hand just coming out in the air? I've often said you should only give a penalty if it is a definite, clear penalty. And that also means if it's intentional. Now, you feel like no player would intentionally handle the ball. I remember Sol Campbell doing something similar to that, and you think, why have they got their hand up there? And it's not so much intentional, it's just a moment of complete brain fart, where you're just not thinking. So Jack Robinson handles it, it was a penalty. Mitrovic blasts it over, but also clipping the bar. Fantastic.
From Fulham's perspective, I thought they were really good on the counter, just lacked a clinical finish. I thought people like Lookman, Loftus-Cheek, Caballero exposed what we don't have. We've got Fleck, we've got Lunny, we've got Berger, but we don't have that pacey midfielder who can really link up play. And Lookman's goal was well taken, benefited a bit from a bounce off of Bash's legs, but it was a really nice, tidy finish. And in some respects, I think we were fortunate to come away with a point. I think in the old days that Mitrovic and Jack Robinson coming together would have been 50-50 and no penalty given if there was no VAR.
Now, it's the kind of penalty where a bit of a lazy hang leg clearance from Mitrovic, who of course missed the penalty for Fulham. He's very much their danger man and really didn't have the kind of performance that I think all of us were very much hoping that he wouldn't have. He just wasn't on it today, despite playing extremely well for his national side in the middle of the week. Maybe that had something to do with it. It might have been a bit of fatigue, but definitely a lazy clearance. And it looked like, again, Robinson involved was just going to get a toe to that ball. He did, and then he was kicked. Now, it's the kind of penalty where when I played football, if that had been me, if I'm Robinson, I am not expecting a foul to be given there. But absolutely, by the letter of the law, it was a penalty. It was one of those where we've seen this new introduction of VAR a couple of seasons now, where the referee lets play go on. In fact, Kearney goes all the way down the other end and Ramsdale has a save. And then he goes over to the monitor, which I'm a fan of. Referee has a look at it and decides it was a penalty.
VAR used as it should be. That is what the system is there for. I believe that is what the Premier League brought VAR in for. You have a look, you go and check the monitor and you realise, yep, I've got that wrong. That's a penalty kick, and that was what was given. That is how VAR should be used.
As soon as he knew that he was going to have a look at it, I always felt that the Blades would actually, even though it's us, would actually get given that penalty. And Billy Sharp, what a way to take a penalty. Give John Lundstrom coaching on how to smash a ball in the back of the net. We have scored a goal at home this season. Now we just need to work on scoring many, many more.
Then what was really frustrating, I think, is we finally got ourselves back in the game, and the last 5-7 minutes were Fulham trying to get 3 points, and Fulham are the newly promoted team, and we were back on our heels just defending, and Mitrovic really spurned a couple chances, as McBurney did in the first half as well. So it's a point. It's better than we've done, but it's not a performance that fills you with a lot of confidence in that second half, especially with the 3 matches coming up that we've got. Didn't get to see much of Brewster, just hopefully he gets fit and gets ready to play, and we'll judge him after 5 or 6 matches. So not the result any of us wanted. I think we really wanted to come out and dominate that game, put Fulham away, and we weren't able to do it. So still just 5 games in, and we've just got to bear down and really hope that we find that scoring touch and find that way to keep clean sheets, because we're going to need both if we're going to survive this season.
Biggest positive for me today was the build-up play that we saw in the first half. It looked like what we were doing all of last year. We finally got Norwood back on the field. He's pinging the ball out to the right side. Basham overlapping, Baldock, Berger. They're all in there, creating a lot of really, really good opportunities. So for me, that was a huge positive that we saw today that changed from the last couple games. On the flip side, we still didn't score in the first half. McBurney missed a lot of headers, put him right at the goalkeeper when he was getting some good crosses in from the folks on the right side. And then we were just offsides, got caught offsides a couple different times in the first half and even a couple times in the second half. Really something that we got to work on moving forward is that timing, that communication with everybody, and to just put the final ball in the net. I think Brewster's got it in him to score a couple for us, so I'm hoping to see a lot more from him in the future. Individual performances today, I felt Berger was really good. Definitely our best player out on the field, running around. First half created a lot of really, really good opportunities. Like I said, really linked up well with Baldock and Basham and Norwood out there on the right side. And then Ramsdale, he kept us in this game. Made a lot of really good saves, really good stops, came out and got the ball when he needed to. Just a very, very solid performance. Every game, I feel like he's improved and gotten better and better. And I'm loving that we brought him back to Bramall Lane, and he's shown us why he can be our first choice keeper. Flip side of that, negative individual performances. I feel like McBurney was pretty decent. Again, just didn't finish, couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And Robinson, I don't know why you've got your arm stuck in the air when you're defending across. Head it with your head, not with your arm. And luckily we didn't concede that penalty. It was a miss from Mitrovic, but still, we shouldn't be putting ourselves in that situation. And then the entire second half, I feel like our whole midfield and a lot of the other players on the field were just tired. Chris Wilder, I think, was a little caught off guard because we had to make the sub early for Max Lowe and put Robinson in the game. But still, I would have liked to see Osborne come on. I feel like we were getting caught on the counter a lot in that second half, and that's what led to Fulham's goals and their other opportunities that they had in the second half. So big negative there. I think we gotta keep the legs fresh, especially after a lot of folks have played 2 to 3 games this international break. But final big positive, big takeaway, VAR finally made a decision in our favor. They called down when the ref didn't make the call on the field, gave us the penalty. Billy Sharp, club captain, scores the goal. 1-1, everybody gets a point. So I'm happy. We've got some momentum. We've got our point. We could take that into our future games. I mean, we're playing Liverpool next, who haven't won in 2 matches. It's a big ask, but I'm feeling good. So come on, the Blades. Let's take it to Liverpool next week.
So 5 games in, a solitary point on the board from today's game with Fulham, 2 points dropped. But what was encouraging was that first half performance. I liken that first half performance to the Burnley game last season when we were out of sight at half time, and today we really could have been out of sight as well. Second half, the penalty went in, but rode our luck. It was missed and showed a lot of character to get back into the game. Great to see Billy get on the score sheet. So where next for the Blades? It's been a disappointing start, hasn't it? But 3 easy games to come. Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea. I say that with a smile on my face because no one expects us to pick up anything. Even the most hardened Blade, realistically in hearts of hearts, knows that there certainly isn't going to be any chance of 9 points. But who knows, we may cause a surprise. Liverpool, yeah, they're going to be wanting to bounce back. 7-2 at Villa, a draw at local rivals in Everton. Someone's going to get beyond the backlash. I just hope it's not the Blades. But the way we played today, I think there's some great, encouraging performances. And with more players to come in, it'd been great to see Lowe be fit and play and see Stevens at centre-back, see that work a little bit better. Also got options driving forward. Sander Berge is now showing why Sheffield United paid so much money for him. Didn't see much of Brewster, but he is the future of Sheffield United. The place had a lift, even with no fans in there seemed to be a lift with Ryan Brewster coming on the field today. And apparently he's been great in and around the club. I'm going to go for a sneaky little point at Liverpool. I just think that we might just nick something. Keep smiling, Blades. You know, it's a long old season. I say it every week. Another game gone, but there's a point on the board. There's a positive. We've got another goal. Things are moving in the right direction. Come on, Blades. We can do this.
Look at that ping from Norwood. Makes other teams look no good. We've got a team full of leaders. Alan Hill, Chris Wilder taught us. Yeah, there was us on the tour bus. Look how many goals Billy scored us. It's beautiful downtown Bromley. We are the boys from Shore.